Hello and welcome to episode number 61 of the Hobbies and Happiness podcast, where we talk all about the hobby that makes us happy, tabletop gaming. I'm one of your host, Dan.
And I'm Jim. And today we're going over the greatest format in Magic. We're talking about Commander.
So the way that was supposed to go is, Commander is the greatest format of in Magic. That's why when you started saying that, I was a little surprised. I'm like, thought we can do that a little differently, but
I decided to wing it.
Yeah. So all right, so today we're talking about Commander, but before we start talking about Commander, we need to talk about our sponsor, Audible.com. If you head over to our affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/hobbiesandhappiness, you can sign up for your free 30-day trial of Amazon's Audible. You like listening to books? I love listening to books on my commutes. So when we don't have a podcast episode for you to catch up on, listen to a good book. So if you head over to our link, you can sign up for your free 30-day trial and you get a free book. What's even better is if you're an Amazon Prime member, Jim, 2 free books, man. Ooh. 2 free books. So I know there's a lot of people who are Amazon Prime members. So if you, again, www.audibletrial.com/hobbiesandhappiness, sign up for your free 30-day trial, get your free book or 2 free books if you have Amazon Prime. And what is also great is if you don't like the service, you can cancel before the end of that 30 days and keep your free book. So keep that free book on your account. So again, head over to our affiliate link, www.audibletrial.com/hobbiesandhappiness to sign up for your free 30-day trial today. All right. So I want to know what you thought when I said, let's talk about Commander.
I instantly was like, yes.
Yeah. Without hesitation, yes.
You son of a bee, I'm in.
Yeah.
Is that what Morty says? I don't watch the show.
Yeah. I think I've seen that show like maybe once.
Yeah.
But
I like watching the clips. That's about it. I tried watching the show full episode. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So all right. So let's just jump right in. Okay. So Commander was originally known, if you do not know, as Elder Dragon Highlander. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, so today's episode all about Magic the Gathering. Again, we talked a lot about Magic in its own episode. I think it was like episode 6, 7, maybe. I can't remember.
Been a while.
But I started listeing to our first episode.
Yeah. I saw you post it on the Discord.
And so when I posted it in one of our threads,
I need to go back and listen.
And I'm re-listening to it. I'm like, man. It's been a minute, and it's been a little bit.
It's been a year.
Yeah, and it's just crazy. It's crazy to think about. But in any case, yeah. So we talked all about Magic in its own episode. Okay, and so personally, so for me, I'm actually going through putting back together my Commander decks. Okay. Getting some other cards that I had but then sold, and now I need to get them again. So I'm retooling some decks, okay? And it just really got me in the mood to really just talk all about Commander. So, all right. So again, Elder Dragon Highlander. What do you know of the history of Commander, Jim? Do you know much about it?
Other than at that time, you could literally only play as the Elder Dragons.
Yeah. So
Nicol Bolas and his siblings.
So were they the only legendary creatures at the time, or was that the rules at the time?
I think it was just you were only able to play as the Elder Dragons.
Okay. So do you know them?
We got Arcades, who is the tactical one, and there's a few different variants. And then we have Nicol Bolas, we have Palladium Moore, we have Chromium, and Chromium? I forget the last one.
I should have been prepared.
Yeah, we're going to pull it up real quick.
MTG Elder Dragon.
I know the John Labant. Oh, no, that was the Esper one. The Grixis. What am I missing? Naya? I'm missing the Naya one.
All right, here we go. Chromium, Arcades Sabbath, Palladium Moors, Nicol Bolas, Ugin, Vivictus Asmati, and Piru, the Volatile.
Who is that?
Yeah, I've not heard of and now this says all 21 Elder Dragons ranked. I don't think that's actually correct. We're talking the originals.
Ugin doesn't even have a creature, does he? Ugin was just a planeswalker.
Yeah, Ugin was just a planeswalker.
Yeah. Nicol Bolas twin.
But
also.
but the one that you missed, which was the one that you missed? You got Palladia Vivictus Asmati.
Yeah,
that was the one. That was the one.
Yeah.
And how dare you? That's the Jund one.
That's the Jund one?
Yeah.
Palladium Mors Naya?
Palladium Mors Naya. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So Elder Dragon Highlander originated as a casual format between judges of the game. So these judges wanted to find stuff to do in between judging their matches. So they came up with this format based all around the Elder Dragons of the game.
Very cool.
And so that's where it started. Okay. Now, before we continue, I would be remiss. We've mentioned them before, but Command Zone. The Command Zone is, like, in my opinion, the best YouTube channel all about Commander. So that's all they talk about. They have a podcast called the Command Zone Podcast, and they have a lot of fantastic gameplay based all around the Commander format. So if you are at all interested in the format, you definitely need to go check out their channel, check out their podcast. Everything they do is top notch. One of our inspirations for sure. We talked about them in that episode, that video that we did about our inspirations.
Yeah. They've also had a lot of high tier celebrities.
Yes, I can never pronounce his last name.
Manganella?
Manganella? I can't, dude. I don't even know.
I don't know.
But I can say
he's also a big D&D guy.
He is. He's a huge D&D guy. Cassius Marsh, a NFL player.
Yes.
And then probably the biggest and most recent is Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Dude, when I saw that video with Post Malone, I'm like, how in the world did they swing that?
I saw some pictures of him at a locals, and fans were taking photos with him.
He's like the nicest guy from what I hear. I would love to get him on the podcast and, like, be able to talk to him. It's probably never going to happen, but you never
that's
know.
not in the budget, Dan.
Know. Yeah, right. But I hear he's, like, the nicest guy.
Yeah.
But he has some crazy
Super
decks.
Quirky. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, some insane great decks. The first game nights he was on, I can't remember what the deck was, but it was insane.
Of course, he doesn't care about the cost of these cards.
Oh no, right?
He's like, I want them.
But forget about that though. Yeah. I'm not even saying the cost. I'm just saying like what.
It's not like he's building bad deck. He knows how to play the game. He's played.
Yeah. So all right. So Commander. So again, started off as Elder Dragon Highlander and has morphed into the format that it is known today. Commander is one of, if not the largest format for Commander.
It is the biggest format for Magic.
That's what I meant. I said Commander. Yeah. But
it
for
is
Magic,
the biggest format, aside from maybe kitchen tables.
Yeah, right. Official format, because it is now an official format.
Yep.
And I want to say that was relatively recent.
2013. I want to say like 9 years ago.
I think you're close there. Okay, so if you're not familiar, I want to go over like a few basics of the game. Okay, so again, it's all about Magic. Okay, it is based solely around Magic the Gathering. Okay, it is a constructed format where you take one legendary creature or planeswalker. Okay, depending if your planeswalker is legal to be a commander, or depending upon if your group is like,
just
whatever,
let all the planeswalkers be legal. Come on,
really? Do you have that position?
I'm so down.
Really?
Yeah. Come on, I don't want to play the 4-drop Nicol Bolas that turns into a planeswalker. I just want to play the God Pharaoh.
Oh, the God Pharaoh. Yeah,
let me play the God Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Or the Dragon God.
Why don't you just play the 4-drop? Play the 4-drop as the commander, and then have all the other ones in the deck.
Yeah, but I want him as the commander.
Yeah, you want.
Or give me Dragon God. I will take Dragon God or get the God Pharaoh.
Yeah,
or Pharaoh God. I forget the name.
God
Pharaoh.
Yeah. So you you take a legendary creature or planeswalker, okay, depending upon if it's legal or not, okay, and you build a deck all around your commander. So the commander sits in what's known as the commander zone. So you basically are always able to have access to the commander. Okay. Now, if you cast them and then they get destroyed, they go back to the command zone. And then in order to play them again, you have to pay their original cost plus a tax. Okay. It is the tax is basically for every time they leave the command zone that you add two. Yeah. I believe
every time they're cast from the command zone, you add two to it.
Yep.
Because isn't there like command beacon to take it from the command zone, put it into your hand or something?
Yeah, correct. Yep. You're correct. Yep. It is cast from the command zone. Yes. So it is a singleton format. Okay. So it's a 100-card singleton format. Okay. So your deck consists of 100 total cards, including your commander. So it's your commander plus 99. Okay. Singleton means, Jim, what does singleton mean?
Singleton means you can only have one copy of the card, unless stated otherwise.
Correct. There are a few cards. Yeah. Shadowborn Apostles is one.
Dragon's Approach, Persistent Petitioners,
there's
Relentless
Rats.
Rats.
Relentless Rats, there it is.
Not Pack Rats.
No, Pack Rats not.
There's another Rats. There's two different Rats. I forget.
Oh, yeah.
Called. There's a 2-drop and then there's a 3-drop that came out recently.
Yeah.
Or it was it's
not
the 3-drop. The 3-drop was the older one. The 2-drop came out recently.
Yeah. So singleton format, except basic lands. Basic lands you can have any number you want.
Yeah. Which is the same for all other formats.
Yeah. Which if you're playing Noah's deck, his deck is all basic lands.
Oops, all lands. That's just one of the decks he had. And that deck's so fun to play, man. It's so fun.
That was a close game. Yeah. So the commanders were Borgamos Enraged.
Yeah, Enraged, Borgamos.
Which, I think that's a 7-drop.
I think he's an 8-drop.
Enraged.
Enraged Boar.
Enraged Boar, yeah.
It
is an 8-drop. 4 2 red and 2 green Cyclops. 7/6. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all lane cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. Yeah. But has an activated ability. Discard a lane card. He deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this. You start with 7 cards in your hand normally in Magic, and since they're all lands, he just needs to get to his turn, and he's playing 1 land every turn and drawing a land every turn. So he's going to get to the point where he's like, all right, 8-drop is out now. And then, okay, I have 7 cards in my hand and I can hit someone for 21 damage, but it's not commander damage.
No, that is not commander damage.
I still think it should be.
Yeah.
Any damage from a commander
because
should be commander
it says Borgamos Enraged deals 3 damage.
Yeah.
You know, it does say that.
Yeah, but commander damage is specifically
combat damage.
Yeah, combat damage.
So speaking of combat damage, Jim, what's the combat damage rule?
Oh, combat damage rule. So if you hit someone in the face enough times with your commander and you can hit them for 21 damage or more, it doesn't matter if they have 100 life. Correct. It doesn't matter if they have 1,000,000 life.
Correct.
It doesn't matter if they have infinite life.
It doesn't matter.
It's doable.
It is doable. It's very doable.
And that's how they get around that, though.
Yeah.
So commander damage is if you hit them for 21 damage, they lose the game. Mm-hmm. With the same commander. So say Dan was playing some random card, right? And I took control of it. It still counts towards that command damage.
From that commander.
Yeah.
So in a 4-player pod, okay, you have to keep track of 3 different damage totals from 3 separate commanders.
Yeah.
Okay. Technically, even yourself, if in that scenario where actually, can you be dealt combat damage by your own commander? That's an interesting thing.
It should be doable. It's a commander.
Yeah, that should be.
It's doable.
That makes sense.
I don't know the ruling on it,
and neither do I. But the reason it's 21 was the original Elder Dragons had a 7 power. Yep. So it was 3 hits from the commander, right? Yes. And so 3 hits is 21 damage. So that was why it is a 21 damage.
Yep.
Okay. So Build a 100-card singleton deck around a legendary creature or planeswalker, and if you deal 21 damage to one of your opponents, they lose. And that's the basics.
Could you imagine if they didn't think about it in terms of the total damage it was doing? It was more of just you took 3 attacks from this one commander. So the ones that are like, oh, it's unblockable, but they only have like 1 attack. So it's like, oh, I took 3 damage, but I'm dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be terrible. It would be terrible.
It would be so bad, because there are a couple of commanders that they have one power to attack,
and you have ways to make it to where it's unblockable.
It's unblockable. Yeah. But I mean, if you took 3 hits from my commander, I mean, you're dead anyway.
Yeah, you did it anyway. You take 3 from mine, you're like, LOL, that tickled.
And we will talk about these in future episodes.
Yes.
The next 2, actually.
Yes.
We'll talk about it later. So that's the basics, okay, of Commander. I mean, that's like literally the bare bones, the bare basics. Okay.
So a review. Singleton, depending on the commander you play, I don't even think we said that, did we? Depending on the commander you play, you can only utilize those colors in the deck.
Okay, so this is an interesting rule, okay?
Yeah.
So depending on your commander, okay, you can only use cards that fall within their color identity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, what is their color identity?
Normally,
explain normally how it normally works first.
Okay. Normally, right, if you are playing a card, it costs 2 mana and a blue, right? That's a blue card. Normally. Except now you take a look at what is inside the card in terms of activated abilities.
Do you have one that you're thinking of right now? A blue one?
No, not really, but I could think of a different card.
Okay.
I can think of Tasigur.
Because I know what I'm thinking of.
Okay. All right. We'll say Tasigur. Let's say it's, I even forget. I think it's 5 in black. So he's normally a black card to be able to be cast, but he has an activated ability for double hybrid Simic, and it allows you to get a card from your graveyard back into your hand, but it is an opponent's choice. So, but now since he has that, you have to activate this ability with green or blue and green or blue again. So now he's not just a black card. You look at the card in its entirety, and now you're looking at black, green, and blue.
All right. So, and this is actually an interesting thing, right? Okay. So talking about Tasigur, right? Tasigur is a black card.
Yeah.
Okay. Tasigur's color identity is black. Okay. Now, if you were to give one of your creatures, okay, let's say Jim was controlling Tasigur, okay? And then I was controlling my board, and I were to give one of my creatures protection from black, okay? Tasigur would not be able to damage those creatures, okay? Now, Tasigur, like Jim said, has that activated ability that has hybrid Simic. So he does have green and blue, okay, in his text box, okay? Now, if I were to give my creatures protection from green and or blue, would Tasigur hit?
He does not.
He does not?
He does not hit because it pays attention to the card itself, not the activated abilities in terms of protection from blue or green.
Right. So what I'm saying is Tasigur...
Oh, my bad. He will hit the cards.
Yes.
I was thinking in terms of the protection doesn't stop him.
Correct.
That's how I was thinking.
Correct. We came to the same conclusion, but we were coming about it a little bit differently.
So if he gives his thing protection against blue, Tasigur will still hit.
Correct.
The protection against blue does not matter against Tasigur. Same with protection against.
So the only difference in Commander is cards that you can include in your deck, okay, pays attention to your color identity, but also color, basically the color pips that come up in their text box, okay? So if Tasigur is your commander, you can include cards that are black, that have green, and that have blue in them as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, one thing to remember, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but if you're beginning in the format, if a card has the ability Extort, it doesn't pay attention to the reminder text for color identity.
Yeah.
So for extort, it's an ability that makes it to where you can tap or pay black or white, so it is a hybrid mana, but you can play this in a mono black deck, and a lot of people do.
Yeah. Like Pontiff of Blight is a good example. It costs 4/2 black. And then it is a black card, but it has extort, and then it has the reminder text inside of those parentheses with the black and white, the hybrid mana symbol in there for black and white. Okay, so the reminder text you always ignore reminder text when in terms of that. So we're kind of getting into the weeds a little bit, but that I at least think that's kind of important when talking about like how to build your deck, right? So you were talking about the basics, like it was right.
The basics. You know, we got we didn't go over colors, color identity, and how that worked.
Right.
So, all right, what have we gone over?
Number one. How many cards in the deck?
100 cards in the deck.
Okay, built around
a single commander, or it could be partners.
It could be partners, which we're not getting into.
Built around a commander.
Okay, legendary creature. Or planeswalker if they're legal.
Yes.
Okay.
And depending on the colors of that commander, that's the only cards that you can play inside the deck.
Yep. And then for the most part, every card is commander legal.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's legal. There is a ban list.
Yeah.
There is an official ban list, which again, if you're playing super casually, you can disregard it if you want. Okay. But however, there is an official ban
Cards
list.
are banned for a reason, and sometimes the people that are like, "Oh, we're just playing casually," and then they find out more reasons as to why those cards are banned.
So one of my favorite
Prime time.
I say favorite cards. Yeah. Prime time.
That one's banning commander.
Prime time is 100% banned.
Yeah. This is the card Primeval Titan. Dan plays it in Modern.
I do. It's not Courser of Crufix. I can't remember what the
Prophet.
I think that's what it is. I think it's Prophet of. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me double check here. Yep.
Yeah.
That's definitely it.
Dude, this card's ridiculous.
So Prophet of Crufix. When I found out about this card, I'm like, oh, dude, this would go so well in my Simic decks, right?
It would.
And it would. So Prophet of Crufix is 3 green, blue, 5 mana, 2/3 creature, human wizard. Untap all creatures and lands you control during each other players on tap step. You may cast creature cards as though they had flash. So it's Seedborn Muse, but with a sick other ability.
Yeah, with like a ley line of anticipation.
Right. So Seedborn Muse is already an insanely powerful card.
So good.
Insane. And Seedborn Muse is basically the first part of Prophet of Crufix. Untap all creatures and lands you control during each other players on tap step.
Or Vidalcan Orrery, whatever. For the flash.
For the flash, right. But with the added benefit of being able to cast creature cards as though they had flash. Yeah, that's crazy.
If you can play at instant speed, you're instantly better. Get it? Better than someone who can't.
Right. So, and
with creatures, dude, it's so dirty.
I know, so
like
dirty.
I love slinging spells, right? But then when you're like, I'm just gonna drop this creature on your turn.
Yeah.
Then go to my turn, and then you can attack with it.
Yep.
Flash creatures are broken.
Yes, you're not wrong.
Flash.
All right. So we've gone over like the basics, right? The super basics. Now, I kind of want to talk about why we think it's the best format. Okay, nothing.
Do we though, Dan?
Why it's the most popular format?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
definitely the most popular format. Okay.
I think because it's multiplayer.
Yeah. I do. I think that's the biggest reason. So, if I had to come up with like 3 reasons, I mean, you hit on the first one. I think the fact that it's multiplayer is huge. I mean, within the tabletop space, you get more than 2 players, instantly you're going to have more people interested.
Yep.
Okay, you instantly are. Now, Magic is already a very competitive game, right? And that's great. Okay, I mean, I'm always looking for those games that I can sit down and play competitively. Okay, and play at a higher level, right? And Magic definitely is one of those games. But more people are looking for those multiplayer experiences than are looking for something that's competitive. I feel like when you're talking about competitive card games now, you're not talking about tabletop. You're talking more about digitally. Okay, I understand Flesh and Blood's a thing. Like I know Flesh and Blood is big. Okay. But and this could also just be the circles that I'm in or the circles that I'm paying closer attention to. But I mean, if you look at Magic, they are shifting heavily towards digital play than tabletop. And we've talked about that on the podcast before, right? And how we think that's the wrong move, okay? Whether or not we think it's the right or wrong move, okay? The reality is they're moving more digitally. It's happening, okay? And I feel like the more games that come along, the modes that are going to be pushed are the digital ones.
Oh yeah.
From a competitive side, from a competitive standpoint.
You're also just able to get so many more of these games in.
Right.
It's
but the other thing is like running events and big tournaments is going to be so easier running them digitally because you can run them remotely. Okay. If it costs a lot more money to run an in-person live big tournament than it does to do it digitally. Okay. Now, obviously, this is a separate episode, right? But I just think that's the reality of the situation. So, and that's why I think Commander is so popular, right? Is because people are more so looking for that multiplayer experience, okay? And there's really no end to the number of people you can throw into a Commander game.
Dude, I love playing 8-man games, but they take forever.
Oh, yeah, they would.
It's so much fun, but it takes forever.
Yeah, that'd probably take like a good 4 hours at minimum, I would guess. So that one game we played at GS, we'll say GS.
Yeah.
That was a 6-person? Was that 6-person?
Six. Yeah, 6 people.
I think it was a 6-person one. That was a great match. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
So,
we talked about that game recently.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. That was such a great game.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not sure there's more that we can say other than just the fact that it's multiplayer. I mean, if you had the choice, I think honestly, if anybody had the choice to play a game with 4 people or a game with 2 people, most people would pick the one that's 4 players.
Hands down.
Even if it's the same game. It's like, would you rather play Magic one-on-one? Or would you rather play Magic one-on-one on one-on-one?
Yeah.
You know? So
and something you can be a bit more socialized in as well.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
When you're comparing it to 1v1 modern, like if me and Dan are playing, well, then again, we're also like preparing for a tournament. So it's a completely different mindset. But we can't just like sit here and be like BSing and just throwing out whatever cards. And we're like, oh yeah, this is fun. This is fun. And it's like, no, Dan's here to win. I'm here to win.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not playing bad cards.
Right.
I'm playing the best way I can do it.
And those moments happen in Commander. Like they do come up in Commander, but like, normally, unless you're playing CDH, which
there's like a huge difference in playing optimally with a tier 1 deck and optimally with a tier 4 deck.
Right.
You know, like sure, you're doing the correct lines in a weaker deck, but you're just using less overall powerful cards and more fun.
I think this segues into the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, is they're your decks.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you talk about playing competitively, most of the time you're playing a meta deck.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you are not playing a deck that you built from scratch. You are playing a deck that is tried, tested, and true, and you know is going to perform well for you in a given tournament.
You might be able to make some small changes of like, I don't like these cards in it because I think the meta is going this way. And then you make those changes.
Right.
But it's still pretty much that deck that you took on off the internet.
Yeah, that you found off MTG Top 8.
That you took off online.
Yeah.
Took off online.
Yeah. It's a deck that you found on MTG Top 8 or you found on MTG Goldfish, right? Or something like
YouTube
that, right?
video, whatever
it is, okay? But with Commander, it's a completely different thing. You can still do that, yes.
Yeah.
You can still net deck, but nobody really does that.
Yeah. Oh, before we continue, I just want to say,
Yes.
the hammer time, no, not hammer time, the prime time with the Hydroid Crisis. Dude, this thing like came out recently, and I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
So, okay.
Genius.
All right. So the deck that I play, Amulet Titan, we've talked about this deck before on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
There's a YouTuber, okay, who pretty much all he does is Amulet Titan content, okay?
Yeah.
He was the one who showcased it a little bit, I think.
I think so.
But he made a change and added, I don't know if it was him or if it was Canister or somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they added these two cards. Hydroid Crisis was the card. Okay, it was the entire playset was in the deck.
Two in the main, two
in the board. Right. But they added that card to the deck. Okay, I don't know why I didn't think about that either.
So good.
And I gotta find the card for a minute because
Yeah.
I remember what it does. But so Hydroid Crisis is
X Simic.
Oh,
so
dude, you can
green.
get this in foil etched too.
Can you really? What did it get printed in?
I think it got printed in Double Masters.
Wow.
It did. Double Masters
Okay.
2022. Yeah. And that was a rare. It was a mythic in Ravnica Allegiance.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Hydra Crisis is X and Simic. So X green and a blue. 0/0. When you cast a spell, you gain half X life and you draw half X cards round down each time. Flying Trample enters with a battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So it does everything that Hydras do. But dude, in a deck where you're generating you can generate a ton of mana every turn, and it's a cast trigger.
Yeah.
So you are gaining that life.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's
Regardless.
gaining life too.
I know.
I know.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, if people go down this route, Burn is just falling off again. And like it's in a decent spot, but it's like, all right, well now more decks are just getting more life.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a big tournament yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I was registered for it. I was going to go, but I had something come up. And so what I found out was 2 of the top 8s played Amulet Titan.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of them was just straight Amulet Titan,
Damn.
like no Karn, nothing.
I'm just gonna say we're taking out the Karn from your list for this.
Yeah,
for this
I know.
Crisis.
I know.
As soon as
I
I saw it,
know.
I'm like, all right, Karn's out.
Yeah, Karn's out.
Karn's out.
Karn's out. Too slow. But this is a flyer.
Yes.
Oh, dude,
to
this
take
is
care
so
of
good.
to take care of the
Murktide. Yes.
Yeah. It's so
exactly
good.
what it is. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Too good. It'll just make it quick. It'll make the deck faster. Oh, it's just so good.
Yeah.
Way too good. Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's,
You're the one who brought it up too.
I know.
Yeah, but honestly, outside of constructed formats like modern and standard, when it was in standard, it was everywhere in standard. But outside of those formats, I don't think Hydro Crisis is a good card. Like, I don't think Hydro Crisis does anything in any other format.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Its prices shown that.
Yeah. That card, when it was in standard, was a $25 card.
Yeah, it was $100 playset, easy.
Yeah, yeah. And that's when I got the card.
Doo-doo-doo.
I can't remember. No, I don't think I did.
You know, it's kind of funny, but it's also sad.
And now it's
we're going
$5.
to bring it up. Avi's the one that brought it up to us, right?
Yeah.
He lost to Teamer deck during that standard, and Hydroid Crisis was in it at the time.
Wait,
at
he
the tournament.
what? He what?
My bad. It got stolen.
Oh,
Whole deck.
The whole deck.
Whole deck.
Oh, is that the one that got?
Was it Louisville? I think it.
Oh,
it might have been Indianapolis.
Okay, that stuff
stuff.
happens way too much.
I know, dude. It was so messed up when that happened.
And he was out of town. He was out of town.
With him. Yeah.
Oh, you were with him.
Yeah, I was with him.
Oh no. So Avi's a good friend of ours, a good member of our community, and we've talked about him before on the podcast. Good friend of the show, good friend of ours. The fact that happened to him, I mean, is there a story behind it?
He was in a game. I think he either left it on the table or it was in his bag. Someone just took it.
We
don't know the exact thing that happened.
Okay.
It's just it was a rough day.
Yeah. So the only thing you just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can say really is you just be careful and don't leave your stuff out.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to do the right thing, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Especially when people are like, "Oh, this deck's like $400. Oh, I could easily get 3."
Yeah, and they just take the entire deck and then just go to a vendor right there and sell it.
Yeah. Even if they got $200 for it, they don't care.
So
obviously, they don't care.
Right, because they're up $200.
Yeah.
They don't care. Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
back to Commander.
Yeah.
Dan.
Sorry. Yeah. Don't want to be a downer. So we were segueing into your deck. Okay. We were talking about meta decks, right? Yes. And how that's normally what you're doing when you're playing standard, modern, any other format. Yeah. Any other format, right? But with Commander, dude, and I am in the process right now, okay, of I've got like 6 decks. I think I've got about 6 decks that I had built at one time, and now I'm going through each deck and basically updating it. Okay. So right now, the 2 that I'm on right now are, I might as well just say Gargos, okay, Vicious Watcher, mono green, and then oh my word, Coma, Cosmo Serpent, Simic. Okay. Those 2 I've basically got where I want them. Okay. Coma's the one that's like, I just have to decide on where I want to go with it, and then just make some decisions and go from there.
Man, I love that theory crafting.
That's the thing, dude. The theory crafting is so much fun. Like I have been having I've got my deck for Gargos up. Okay. And you know what? I'll tell you now. Okay. Here's the next 2 episodes. Okay. Are each going to be basically deck tech episodes.
Yes.
I will do one of my commander decks, and Jim will do one of his commander decks. So
we can say which ones we're going to do now.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm talking all about Gargos. The name of my deck is Hydra Fight Club. So
we don't talk about Fight
Club. And then which one are you doing?
I'm doing actually I might be doing a completely new deck.
What?
No, I'm joking. It's Talrand. I'm going to be talking about a mono blue deck. Talrand.
Yep.
And you're going to see why I said earlier that like, oh, you eat 3 attacks and you're like, LOL.
Yeah.
That was why would I even swing with him, Dan? I wouldn't.
The thing is, like, Talrand, like, isn't like an amazing commander, though. But
you take it back.
what I'm saying is he just
destroys you all the time.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's the deck, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, Talrand as a card, just by itself is just like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But in totality in the deck, it's just like, ooh, man.
So the card is a 4-drop. He's a 2/2. And every time I cast I think it's non-creature or it's just instant sorcery.
It's instant sorcery.
All right. Whenever I cast instant or sorcery, then I make a 2/2 flying Drake.
Yep.
That's it.
That's all
he does.
That's all he does.
Is that all he does, though? I mean, all right, that's all he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's not all the deck does.
Yes.
Now we're like, okay, I'm going to play 1 mana to be able to draw a card.
Yeah.
Or play a card that costs 1 mana to draw a card.
Draw a card, yeah.
Cantrip. We're going to cantrip. All right, since I haven't lost any cards in hand, but now I got a dragon out on the field or a drake out on the field.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do that 2 more times before my turn. We're going to do that instant speed on Dan's turn, going to my turn, and I got 3 drakes that can just swing in and attack him.
Yep.
But not just that. If Dan's like, I want to play this really cool card, but it can be countered, I'm like, you're right, it can. So now I'm going to control the card, and now I get another 2/2 Drake that just, boop, and we're going to get in there.
Yeah.
And just more and more value over time.
Yep. To be honest, if my Hydra deck took on his Talrand deck, I think my Hydra deck would destroy him.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The thing, and we'll talk about each of these decks, right, in their own episodes. I absolutely love my Gargos deck. When when Gargos was first printed, I'm like, come to me, my precious. I just immediately fell in love with Gargos, and like I have not seen anybody else play Gargos ever. So
I think the only way I'd be able to get around it is if I was able to give Talran like permanent indestructible.
Yep.
Because otherwise it's like, all right, I'm able to counter the card you cast, but you still targeted Gargos, and like you just fight my dude.
Yep.
So if like I can't get him indestructible, it's just over.
Yep. Exactly. And then I have a card that makes stuff that my opponents have indestructible. Yeah, it takes it away.
The sphere.
Yeah,
Not the sphere.
Shadow
the
Spear. Shadow Spear, yeah.
I always mess those up.
So, okay, theory crafting, okay?
Yes.
It's amazing, okay, because it's so cool because you have one card and there's seemingly an infinite number of ways you can go to build the same commander.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, I mean, in me retooling and rebuilding Gargos, I'll use Gargos as an example, right? There's like 2 routes, okay? So Gargos is a 6 mana, 3/3 green, 8/7 Hydra with Vigilance, and then says Hydra spells you cast cost 4 less to cast. And then says whenever a creature you control becomes a target of a spell, Gargos Vicious Watcher fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Okay. 2 ways you can go building a deck. You can like go Hydra Tribal and just build all the Hydras that are mono green. Okay. Or you've got that other line of text that says you target any of your stuff, Gargos will fight. So you've got Hydras on the one hand, or do a lot of fighting. I kind of met it in the middle. Okay.
Like, yeah, why not both?
Well, the problem is there's not enough. I don't think there's enough Hydras in Magic's history that are mono green to really serve the deck very well.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think if you do not
Just play the good ones.
I think if you don't target your stuff with anything, you're missing out. You miss out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You miss out on a lot of upside. So that was kind of what I did. And so I spent a lot of time figuring out, trying to find cheap cards like 1-drops, 2-drops. I did not want to go more than 2-drops that targeted my stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to play it instant speed.
Unless it's extremely good.
Yes.
But sometimes you're just better off taking the lower mana.
Well,
a
good example of that is, I want to see if it's here. I completely took it out. Let's see if I can find it before before this dies. Okay. It was a 5 mana card from Eldraine. Okay. Let's see if I can find it. It was an instant, 4 and a green. And then what you could do is non-creature, you could choose one. Non-creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn, or you can draw cards equal to the highest power among creatures you control.
Okay.
Or something like that. So you would think that like that's an auto include, right? Return of the Wild Speaker. Here it is. Yeah, Return of the Wild Speaker. So choose one. Draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, or non-human creatures you control get +3/+3 until end of turn. So that's an instant speed. Okay, instant speed, 5 mana, draw 8.
Yeah.
Assuming Gargos is on board.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, right? It's just a 5 mana. That's the thing where I'm like,
not sure you want to do
I'm
that.
not sure I want to do that. Okay. Especially when I've got a lot of other draw in the deck.
Like it's really nice, but it doesn't synergize well enough with the rest of the deck.
And the other thing is like giving my stuff +3/+3. Dude, my stuff's gonna be huge.
Yeah,
like that's not gonna matter.
Yeah, like if you turn a bunch of 1/1s into 4/4s, that's huge.
Yeah.
Turning an 8/8 into 11 or
an
11
8/7 into a 12/11.
That's
or whatever it is.
Yeah, 11/10.
11/10. There we go. Yeah.
That's less good.
Yeah,
because then we're talking about percentages.
Right.
Like
right.
to go from 1 to 4 is a lot higher percentage than 8 to 11.
Yeah. But you know, the theory of craft, it's huge, right? And so that was a card that I'm like, as I'm putting all my cards together, right? I've got, here's my 100, right? And then here's all these cards that I think are good and that might work well, okay? And so I'm like constantly going, all right, I've got this card. what would I want to take out to put this card? And a good thing too is lands. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I have a total of 34 lands in this deck. Okay. Which is actually not bad. It's not bad for a mono
It's
green
like
deck.
a standard. Yeah.
It's not bad for mono green where I have a ton of ramp.
Yeah.
Okay. And Zendikar was great. Okay. With the modal lands,
Yeah,
I think I have just 29 strict lands.
Wow.
But I have 5 cards that
How
are
many fetches are you playing?
none. Dude,
upset,
it's a mono green, man.
Why don't you play fetches though?
Why?
Because deck thinning.
I mean, okay. Like I could grab like 2 fetches, maybe.
You could play 4.
I could, but I don't have 4.
All right.
So I'm not playing fetches, but again, I've 29 just straight lane cards.
Yeah.
Okay. With 5 of the modals.
Real
right?
quick. Funny thing. So I have a problem with fetches when it comes to Commander.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
And I was going through my list one day. This was a Grixis list.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to put in all these good lands. And then I go look. I'm like, I have more fetches than I have targeted lands for them. I'm like, sure, I love how it looks.
Yeah.
But it's not practical
at
all.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but again, and this happens like anytime I'm building a commander deck, right? I have my 100 list, right? And then I've got these cards that I think would work for the deck, okay? And then trying to figure out what I can swap them for. And I was doing that a lot. And I'm always looking. Also, if you're ever building a commander deck, EDH Rec, best site.
So good.
Best site for theory crafting, for finding cards that synergize well with your other cards or your commander.
Yep.
So good. Definitely check it out. And those guys have a podcast, EDH Retcast. They're great. Joey does a fantastic job. And all the guys over there do such a good job. I mean, I remember when I first got into Commander, I was listening to their podcast all the time. And they do really, really, really good work.
I use their website so much.
Oh, dude, like that's all.
It's hands down the best one for
Correct.
Commander.
It is.
If you like any other format, I think Goldfish and MTG top 8 best ones.
But Commander, you're not going to get anything better than EDH Rec.
Yep.
So, before we move on, I mean, you're huge into theory crafting.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Like what about theory crafting is like big for you in Commander?
Oh man.
Like what do you like about it?
When it allows me to be as creative as possible.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's like I honestly don't even know what else to say other than that, right? Because obviously it's not infinite possibilities, but there are so many possibilities that you could be doing for this game. And like we said earlier, it's your deck. You know, Dan and I could have the exact same, commander, but when we bring it to a table, it's probably not going to be even close to the same deck.
Yeah.
There might be some, very similar cards that are just staples in the colors, right? But my deck is going to most likely be drastically different than Dan's. And then same thing even if you throw a third person in or a fourth person in.
Yeah.
The creativity you can have with it is just absurd. And especially since I'm very used to playing other formats where everything is very cookie cutter and you just get to make small changes.
Yeah.
This is huge changes.
Yeah. And you really feel it. The sense of joy that you have when you're just playing like with this combo that you're like, you think you're the only one who saw it, nobody else did. Like it's just, I was literally having that sense when I'm building my decks right now. Like when I'm putting together Gargoys, I'm just like, this is going to be so great. I cannot wait to sit down to a table and just freaking play this. It's going to be so awesome.
Question. Have you had someone else play your deck and you were like, I can't believe that's a thing in this deck?
Yes.
Has that happened to you?
Yes.
There was a few years ago when I first made Talran, right? And I kind of put them away for a bit. Like I took them apart, but I'm like, wait, why don't I just still have Talran?
Yeah,
this is like my longest ongoing deck.
Right.
And so one of the small kids at Grapple at the time, he went off on people.
Okay.
It was including the
Deadeye Navigator.
Exactly.
Deadeye
Deadeye
Navigator,
Navigator, Peregrine Drake
yeah.
combo.
Yeah.
And it was the search for Iskanta flipped into a land. And I'm not realizing, even though I know exactly what these cards do.
Goodness.
I know exactly what they do.
So he drew the entire deck.
He drew his entire deck. And I'm like, I've never done this.
I mean, the Deadeye Navigator Peregrine Drake combo, like, if you know Magic and you know Blue, you know that. Okay, you know what it does. Okay, Peregrine Drake, ETB, untap 4 lands? Or is it 5 lands?
All of them.
No, it's only a certain number.
Okay, it is.
It's either 4 or 5.
I think it's one more than it is.
Yeah, because I think Peregrine Drake costs 4.
I think it uses 5 lands. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I believe when he ETBs, you untap 5 lands. Okay, Deadeye Navigator, you can pair Deadeye Navigator with another card, and then basically Soulbind, and then you bounce one, and then you bounce another one, and then they just like basically go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you just have to keep bouncing the one once it's soulbound to it.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, because when a new creature comes in, then you can soulbind to that new card.
Right.
So you just keep bouncing.
Right. You keep bouncing Deadeye Navigator, and then
Yeah.
that bounces Peregrine Drake.
Yeah, you keep flickering the card, and you just keep untapping 5 lands. Except, well, you now spend 2 mana to get back 5 lands. So then you tap your lands to produce mana, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm going to spend 2.
That mana.
And then I'm like, oh, we're going to do it again and again.
Float that mana with Search for Iskanta.
And then Search for Iskanta, I think, is pay 4 mana, tap it, or 3 mana, tap it. And look at the top 4 cards, take a permanent? No, it's not permanent.
I think it's instant or sorcery.
Yeah, maybe non-creature.
Yeah, it's something like that.
I
yeah,
forget.
it's been a little bit. Yeah.
Or it's just non-land. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. But dude drew his entire deck, right? And then he also had Snapcaster Mage out.
Oh my gosh!
Right. So then he was like, "All right, I'm gonna flicker. I'm gonna flicker."
Snapcaster.
Yes. So he had to do it the other way, rather than the Paragon Drake flicker the Deadeye Navigator to then reattach to
Snapcaster.
to Snapcaster Mage. Yep. So now every single thing that he has in his graveyard is now just being able to double cast it. So he takes every card from his deck, has unlimited mana, is going to be able to cast this stuff, and then be able to cast it again. And I'm like, what is this? I didn't even think about this. Thanks.
Yep.
I didn't even think about this combo. I'm like, that is dirty.
That is dirty.
And then now I don't have a Snapcaster Mage anymore, and
I do.
I think I'm still running the other stuff though.
I'm running Snapcaster Mage and Torrential Gearhulk in Coma.
Dude. Yeah, there's no reason not to. They're so good.
They're so good. Both those cards are great.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think there's really much more we can say about the theory crafting and the personalization. I mean, the next thing I was going to talk about was the personalization, but like we really touched on. We really touched on a lot of that. Yeah. I think that's like the biggest draw.
Yeah. I still think multiplayer is the biggest draw to the format.
Yeah. It's the biggest initial draw, I think. Yeah, for sure. But then once you get into it,
once you get into it,
you're just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You can just go down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
And build 10 decks.
Yeah. And you don't have to be competitive in order to have a bunch of fun.
No.
You don't have to spend a lot of money to have a bunch of fun.
Well, you don't.
You buy one of the pre-con decks.
Oh, yeah.
You go sit down, and you're still doing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're still competing.
Especially if you got that rogue list.
Oh, dude, that was a great list.
Oh, that's
great list.
So good.
So good. So good. So personalization is huge. And there was like one other thing. But before I think about that, before I think about this last point here, I mean, is there anything else that you can think of that like would be a good reason that Commander's just like an amazing format?
I think I kind of just said what my last reason was, is that you don't have to put a lot of money into the format. It's very budget friendly. And in order to have fun, you don't have to drop a lot of money.
You can spend as much money as you want or as little money as you want.
Yeah.
And you will still have a lot of fun. Yeah. I think your success is not going to be dictated upon how much money you spend.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you want to get certain cards like Cyclonic Rift, okay, you're going to spend a decent amount of money.
You want to get land tags. You want to get the smothering.
You want to get Great Henge.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend $50.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to get the tutors.
Yeah. Right. But you don't have to. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of budget friendly options, and you can get very competitive. Okay. Very competitive when playing budget friendly as well.
Yeah, you can get some really good decks.
Fantastic. And and honestly, that can be a restriction you put on yourself, and then you find that there's some really good cards that you didn't know about because they're just not as popular, right?
Yep. You don't have to spend all this money at once. You'd be like, oh, all right, well, I've been playing for like a month, 2 months, and be like, yeah, I'd like to buy this $7 card. I'd like to buy this $14 card, play for a few more months. Maybe you go up to like a $20 card or multiple $5 cards. You're like, now I'm just starting to build the collection. You're investing into the game.
Or you buy a dual land.
Or you buy a dual land. I don't know if I told you.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Did I tell you what happened at my work?
No.
Did I tell you about the dual lands I came in? All right, check this out.
What?
All right, guys, we're getting kind of off topic, but it still matters for the format.
Yeah, it does.
So some
and
guy,
maybe for Jim's decks.
Yeah. So some guy came into work, right?
Okay.
And he had old Magic cards that he was looking to sell.
Okay. So they called you, right?
So this is what happened. All right. My bosses didn't know that I was big into Magic as soon as the guy came in, right? He's like, I was wondering, do you guys buy Magic cards? And I'm just now looking over. I'm going to listen to this conversation as to what's going on.
So you're close by.
Yeah. I'm like 2 people away from him, but there's no one in between us.
Okay.
And so he's like, oh, yeah, we take in Magic cards. He's like, okay, cool. I also had a box of Magic cards. Is that something you're interested in? He's like, yeah, we can for sure take a look. As soon as that conversation was over, the second it was over, I'm like, oh, hey, just so you know, I'm a bit of a trading card game expert.
He's not wrong.
And
he's not wrong.
And he's like, oh, that's great. As soon as you're done with this other stuff that we had you doing, we're going to get you onto the cards, right? So this guy brought in a box. It was probably like 2,500 cards, right? Not a whole lot.
Yeah.
A good amount, but like nothing I was worried about. I'm like, all right, let's go through it. Separated from white border, black border. Pretty much all the white border stuff was revised.
Okay.
He had a lot of revised stuff.
Okay.
So I look at some of the cards that he pulled off to the side. He's like, oh, these cards are worth money. And going through it, yeah, they were worth some money. There was demonic tutor in there, white border, and
with the pentagram.
With some other stuff. I don't know.
Because that would have been around the timeline where it would have had it.
I don't remember.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Was it? You said it was revised?
Yeah, it was revised.
I don't know if revised. I think revised had the pentagram on. I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
It could have been a different set. I'm not entirely sure. I just know he also had other white border cards that weren't from revised.
And the reason I'm saying something about the pentagram was that was a big thing that was changed because of Uproar.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And so I'm going through these cards and I find some other stuff, but I take a pile off off some other cards in the box, and I see something out the corner of my eye. I see a land.
Okay.
I see an OG dual land from revised.
Which one?
It was Taiga.
Oh man.
Okay, so it was the Gruul one. So I wasn't very impressed, right?
Yeah, right.
But I was still impressed because it's one of the 10 OG duels, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, that's right. He's got a bunch of revised stuff in here. I need to find all the packs because he had it in color sorted by color.
Okay.
And then he had like the mountains in one, a bunch of basic mountains, a bunch of basic plains, like everything in there.
Right.
And then on the top of the basic lands, he would have non-basic lands. So I'm like, okay, I want to go through these.
Yeah.
This is my number one priority.
Yes.
All right. So the thing about this Taiga, right? As soon as I saw it, I took that B out. We're gonna say B, and I took her out. She was damaged though.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't anything on like the main card. It was on the border, the white border. There was a hole in it.
Oh,
Yeah, there was a hole in it. It wasn't a very large hole. You could little larger than the tip, pretty much like the ink part of a pen.
Yeah.
Right. So when you undo the thing, you could like put that through there.
Okay.
So it was still playable.
Right.
Nothing else was wrong with it other than that hole. And then I'm looking through the other stuff. He has a Savannah.
Whoa.
He had a Savannah. And yeah. So he had 2 OG duels, both being in Naya colors. So the first one in Gruul, the other one in Selesnya.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to get these. Okay. Like I instantly wanted them. And so it took me about, no, I don't want to say 5 hours. It took me a few hours to go through everything and then get some pricing, sorting everything out, getting all the numbers, because then I had to count everything.
Right.
And so once all that was done, it was pretty much time to go home. But I didn't finish everything. I didn't finish the artifact cards, and I didn't price out all the cards that I set to the side. Okay. But I put a Post-it note on there. I'm like, these are very important cards.
Yeah.
Get these numbers. Okay. And I'm like, oh, then we also have to go through the artifacts, which
there can be some.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
Can be some good artifacts.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, depending on the artifact, you might not think it's great, but it's expensive.
Yeah. Right.
And so we finished the day off, and then I was off the next day, and I was off the following day.
Oh boy. Oh no.
I go into work Thursday, right? Get into work Thursday. I asked my boss, the assistant manager of the place, I'm like, oh, hey, what happened with those cards? Where are they at? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure we picked them up. I think they're in the back somewhere. He's like, if they're not laying around the floor here somewhere in this box, they're in the back somewhere. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he was going to ask the manager. Going to the next day, he tells me, like, right when I get in there, he's like, oh, they passed up on the cards. They sent them a little bit north to their other location. Still on LaGrange. Okay. Closer to LaGrange. I forget the exact place. And so they sent them up there to get the stuff sold to them.
Why did they do that?
Because I think they just didn't want to go through the car. So nobody
one else there was going to do it.
No one else there even like knows Magic. So now I'm in a position, which is good and it's a bad thing. Yeah. Because since no one else knows about Magic, when Magic comes in there, when I'm not there,
Jim,
it gets thrown to the side.
Yeah.
Like it gets passed up on a lot of the time. Or depending on how much stuff there is, it could just get passed up. But when I am there, I'm like, yes, I will do it. I'm like, I'll do nothing else for the day. I will do this for Magic, right?
Right.
And so it's a good thing and a bad thing, because I'm also in a position of I can also take their Magic stuff to that next level.
Yeah.
They just have to give me that ability, right? And so they also go off eBay pricing, which I'm not a fan of. And I think part of the reason they didn't want to do all the work for figuring the stuff out was because our manager doesn't make them go off of eBay, but he's like, this is the one we're going to do.
So they don't know any better. They basically don't know any better.
I did tell the assistant manager about TCG Player and how you're able to set up a camera and you can just have it look at the cards that you put down in it, and it'll put it into a list. It pays attention to like everything. You might have to swap some cards around for additions, but it makes the job so much faster.
Correct.
You don't really have to know, as long as you...
It's pretty automated.
But there's some times where some cards could slip because it's like, oh, this is a revised card, but it's telling you that it's an unlimited card, so then you're paying more. Or it's an unlimited card and it's telling you it's a revised card.
Right.
Or a completely other white border land or card, and they might not know about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, obviously I'm upset about it, right?
Yeah, right.
And so yeah, I'm a little salty about it, but there's obviously nothing I can do about it
Right.
other than
open up our own shop so this stuff doesn't happen.
yeah. I should have just got that dude's number. And be like,
Yeah.
all right, let's talk.
Yeah, give him your card.
Yeah. I don't even think he knew what he had. There's no way.
Didn't. He probably didn't.
If that was in one of these other packs and not even a part of the money cards, he had no idea.
Yeah, he had no clue. Yeah. How much was that Taiga?
The Taiga was like, with it being damaged, I would have put it around like 215.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damaged like 200. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
A damaged car is $200.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, we got off on a few rabbit trails, but that's okay.
I tend to do that.
Yeah, I know. So do I. But I think you all at least know and can understand why we think Magic's a great format. Okay.
Magic is a great game.
Oh my word, Commander's
a great format.
I'm sorry.
It's late, guys.
Yeah, Commander is a really, really great format.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to talking more about Commander with our deck techs. Okay.
Yes.
So those are going to be the next 2 episodes. Okay. So stay tuned for those. And then moving forward, we may, I would like to every now and then do some more deck techs. Okay.
Yeah.
With just some of our decks. And honestly,
I'd love to bring someone else on here and talk about their decks.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be really good. We're not bringing Golos. I don't want to hear about Golos.
Yeah, we're not talking to you, man. He's like, oh, my deck changed.
Yeah, but did it?
He's like, oh, I'm just memeing. It's the exact same deck. Just happy to be able to destroy you guys.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Super troll.
All right. So, with that, talking about the card of the week.
Card of the week, Dan.
Card of the week. It's not a Magic card.
It's Birthing Pot. Is it Birthing Pod?
It's
Dan?
not Birthing Pod.
So,
so it's not. It is not a Magic card today. The reason I didn't do a Magic card is because when we do our deck techs, I mean, the card of the week is gonna be from that deck.
Mine's not gonna be.
Yes, it is.
All right, I guess. So.
All right. So, what we did is about a week ago, we played the Final Fantasy trading card game for the first time.
Super fun.
Dude, that game was so great, guys.
Yeah.
I streamed last night from when we're recording this, and I talked a lot about the game.
Yeah. If you guys like Magic, you'd like this game.
It is so great, man. It is so much fun, and Jim can attest to this. As soon as we got done, I'm like, all right, I'm in. I'm going to play this game. I'm going to buy some decks, and we're going to create some content for it because this is so good. It is a lot of fun.
It's a good game.
So much fun. So we played, it was like a starter set.
Yeah.
It's a starter set, and the cards, there were 2 decks. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's for Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII. Okay. If you had to guess which characters you think the decks are. Cloud and Sephiroth.
What? What? The 2 biggest character in the entire franchise?
Right. So Jim, who did you play?
I got to play as Sephiroth. Dun, 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 dun. We're going to play. All right, we can't play that song.
Yeah. Sephiroth. We can do that, though. Right. And then I played as Cloud.
Cloud Strife.
And so Cloud is the card of the week. Okay. So when I read the card, Jim will tell you why he said Birthing Pod. Okay. So I'm going to tell you everything that's on the card, and some of this may not make sense, and that's okay. Yeah. If you are not familiar with the game, we will do more. We're going to do videos about this game because it's so good. All right.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
So Cloud is a 2-cost Earth card. Okay. 5,000 attack. I believe it's just called attack points. Okay?
Yeah. Power.
It is a forward soldier with category 7. Okay. All right. You can tap him and put 1 category 7 forward into the break zone, which is your discard essentially, or graveyard, and search for 1 forward that costs 1 CP or crystal points is what it is, more than the forward you put into the break zone, and play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your main phase. Jim?
Yeah.
Why did you say it's birthing pod?
It's the same effect as birthing pod.
It's literally the exact same effect as birthing pod. So when I first,
technically birthing pod says at sorcery speed, right?
it's the same thing. Yeah, because this said you can only do it during your main phase.
Yeah, but you can instant speed during your main phase if I do something during your main phase.
Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
you're not
slightly
wrong.
better.
It is slightly better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's pretty
Yeah.
much the same.
Yeah. So one of the things that I found out about this game. So when I first found out about Final Fantasy TCG, I'm looking at some of the cards and I'm like, that's literally a Magic card. Like I know exactly what this card is, and I don't even remember what the card was, but I remember it was the red Elder Dinosaur, where you attack, exile top card.
Top 3.
No, the top card from your opponent's deck.
Okay.
So in a multiplayer, you're looking at 4.
And then you can cast
Then you can cast them without paying their mana cost. Yeah, right. So I'm like, that's
Atali?
literally Atali Primal Storm. That's what it is. Correct. Yep. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's literally Atali. And so come to find out, like I'm looking at a lot of these cards, and I'm like, that I know what Magic card that is. Okay. Which again, that's not all that surprising when Magic has been around for 30 years, for almost 30 years now. Okay. Not surprising at all. And honestly, I'm okay with it because, you got to draw from something. Okay. And there's a lot of these cards are super original too. Right. But in any case, it's what it is. So Cloud is basically birthing pod. Okay. Is basically the birthing pod effect.
100%.
And turns out, it's really good.
It's so good, dude. I'm like, I'm going to kill her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because I could still do that.
Yeah. So if I wanted to be, I would have to play around it. If I'm playing instant speed, I have to kill it not in your main phase.
Yeah.
And I think at first we were doing it instant speed.
At first I was doing it instant speed, and then I'm like, oh no, you
reading
can't
the card
do that.
tells you what the card does.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yep. Yep.
And so but even still, even if he can only do it during main phase, this card's stupidly
It is
strong.
so good. It is so
because
very,
now you're
very
just
good.
searching for so many good cards, right?
Yeah. And even in these starter decks, the cards are really good.
Oh yeah. Even if you sacrifice himself to go get the card, there's so many good. There was was he a 3-drop or was he a 4-drop that made it to where like anything that comes in, you just start hitting me for 2,000 damage.
It was either it wasn't Barrett.
No, Barrett was good too.
Barrett was good too.
Barrett's
yeah,
a monster.
Zach? I think it might have been Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. What if Zach's
But
cards? Yeah.
I don't remember if he was a 4-drop.
I think it was 4.
Okay, all right. So yeah, regardless with him being a 4-drop, now Cloud, all the future cards that come in, it's like, is it a red card? Is it a 7-drop?
It was if it was a red card, it dealt 2,000, and then if it was a forward, it dealt 2,000.
Yeah.
So red forward is 4,000.
Something to deal with the 7 category. So from Final Fantasy 7.
Oh,
if it was a
yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 card along with a red card, then it would deal 4,000 damage. So Zach coming into the field, it also stated that as well.
Yeah.
When he enters the field, deal 2,000. But if he enters the field and then the other thing happens, deal 2,000.
Crazy.
It's like, you just killed my stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah. So after playing it, we were like, we need to talk about one of these cards.
Yeah.
We need to talk about one of them just to get it on the radar.
And Cloud's
for
just
our
the best
community.
card from that entire deck list.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Aerith?
no. Aerith's a monster
Aerith
too.
was great too.
Aerith's so good.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that one card that mills me, and I get off like the different effects.
Oh my word.
Dude, that card is nuts
Don,
too.
the Don something?
Yeah, Don is what I call him. And,
he was doing work.
yeah, it was like mill 2 and tap him to, I think, dull one of your cards or tap one of your cards. I could mill 7, tap him to destroy one of your dulled cards.
Yeah, that was
so
tapped.
if he attacks, and it's like, all right, well, before damage, mill 7, kill your thing.
that's true.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah, before damage, just get in there. And then, or you can mill 15, tap him to take control of that card. Any
As
card.
long
I
as you
think, I don't
control-
even
as
think
long
it
as
has
you
to be
control.
dulled either.
No.
And as long
As
as
you
he's
control
out
them.
on the board.
Yeah.
Really good card. But yeah, Cloud's just broken.
Yeah.
Cloud's broken. Card needs to be banned.
Yeah. One of the things that I loved about this game was I mean, and we've talked about this before about the complexities and of the rules in Magic. Dude, this game is there.
Yeah.
Like this
100%.
game very much tries to imitate Magic, but do it with a Final Fantasy flair. Yeah. And they have very advanced rule sets, and they have the rule book there. And so it's definitely, if you want to sink your teeth into a good TCG, I think Final Fantasy is there.
Yep.
It's a good one.
The other thing is, so the forwards are pretty much your creatures. The back row cards are I don't know what they're called. The backgrounds? I don't know.
They're technically backups.
Backups, that's the
word. So and I'm gonna talk to Jim about this, but I think we're gonna be doing some videos on this on this game.
Oh yeah, true. I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
And the back row cards are pretty much your mana or your land.
Yeah, it's basically your lands, but they're better. They're better than lands. Okay, I think the resource system.
Dude, they always enter tap though. They're garbage.
Oh yeah, that's true. They do. That's right. You're not wrong. Yeah. But still, they some of them still have static abilities. Yeah. Like one of them, it was Jesse. It makes my Cloud or Barrett cards cost one less.
Yeah, cost reduction.
Yeah, the cost reduction is there.
Or it could be like, oh, give all of your creatures 1,000 attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good game, and we're going to be talking more about that.
It's pretty fast paced.
Yeah, I think I want to do an entire podcast episode about it, just to that way we can talk more about the game, and then do some other content around the game as well. So
Cloud's the first one for Final Fantasy.
Cloud is the first one for Final Fantasy, and we're going to be talking more about that game in the future. And wow, it's been a minute. We've gone on. We've gone on. This is a long episode.
Yes.
So speaking of. Do you remember we've done like a 2-hour long episode before? Dude, when we first started, man,
they were long.
There were some long ones. When we did that Magic episode, that was almost a 2-hour long episode.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
honestly.
Neither am I.
I could talk about Magic all day.
Yeah, so I know.
So,
all right, well, we're gonna wrap it up. But this was a great episode. I always enjoy talking about Commander. I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy. I think this is such a great card game. And when this episode airs, Gen Con will have come and gone. Unfortunately, we did not go this year.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we didn't go.
Heck that place. My homeboys hate that place.
I am really hoping that in the coming years, they relax. They relax. So, and that's the reason we didn't go this year. Yeah. But in any case, if you went, I hope you all had a great time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good events that happened this year.
Last year was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. But I just think if we would have gone this year, I don't know if we would have had as good a time.
Now thinking about Gen Con, I have a taste for that pizza. It wasn't great.
Oh,
but I just have a taste for that pizza.
Yeah. The pizza in there. Yeah, that was pretty good. So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. Jimbo, where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. I almost forgot all these names. At Jim Morgan, HNH.
You guys can find me on Twitter at _DG Campbell and on Instagram at Daniel.G.Campbell. You can find Hobbies and Happiness. Head over to our website, www.hobbiesandhappiness.com. You can find links to just about all of our social media accounts there, as well as our podcast, YouTube, everything, Twitch. You can find it all there. Okay. Yes. Head over to our website, check all that stuff out. And again, if you haven't, head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/hobbiesandhappiness. It's just it's Hobbies Happiness, actually.
Yes.
But again, if you go to our website, you can find all the links there.
It's all there.
So, all right. Well, thanks. That's all we got for you today and this week. Jim, great episode. A lot of fun.
It was a good day.
It's a good day. And looking forward to these next two episodes where we talk all about one of our Commander decks. So, all right. Well, that's all we got this week. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll catch you in the next episode. See you, everybody.
Take care.